The Bemidji Community Theater presents The Elves and the Shoemaker. The Elves and the Shoemaker is presented through special arrangements with Pioneer Drama Services of Englewood, Colorado. This activity is made possible by the voters of Minnesota through a grant from the Region 2 Art Council, thanks to a legislative appropriation from the Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund. Underwriting was also being provided by Paul Bunyan Communications.
Hello there, and welcome to the Historic Chief Theater. My name is Mary Knox Johnson, and I am the director and the designer of the Elves and the Shoemaker. I have a friend here. Oh, okay, sure. He's a little shy. His name is Delacroix. He's going to spell that for you. D-E-L-A-C-R-O-I-X. That sounds like Delacroix. Oh, he tells me it's French. Okay. Oh, he's not on. He says his cousin is here too, and he has another cousin out in the lobby, and he hopes that they will get adopted today. So during intermission, you can take a look and see if they're there. So he's going to help me with announcements today. So first he says, we need to thank Region 2 Arts Council and all of the people who pay taxes in the state of Minnesota, because some of your tax money goes to the Arts and Heritage Cultural Fund, which helps pay for this production. So give yourself a clap on the back. And Paul Bunyan Communications, who has underwritten the entire season for community theater. So we need to thank them also for supporting live theater in Bemidji. And of course, there's Raphael's Bakery. Raphael's gives us free donuts every Tuesday. And I always say that the cast is always here. No one's ever absent on Tuesday. And I think it's mostly because of the donuts, not because of anything else. So they get really, really excited. So thank you, Raphael's. And Chocolate's Plus always does something special for the children's show. So this year they have some Oreo Elves, they call them. So they are Oreos covered with various confections and have the faces of elves painted on them. And they also have something called the Shoe Cobbler's Kit, which is chocolate and different colored string licorice. So during intermission, if you would like to go over there and try some of those, I'm sure they would appreciate it. We also do have confections in the lobby. Now we have to talk a little bit about the difference between the Paul Bunyan Playhouse and Bemidji Community Theater, because people always ask that and they always get confused. So the Paul Bunyan Playhouse owns the Chief Theater, and they are the ones that do wonderful summer theater, professional summer theater here, 5 shows all summer long. Then from September through May, Bemidji Community Theater moves in. Bemidji Community Theater is exactly what it says. It's the community, people like you and me. Some have experience, some have absolutely no experience whatsoever, but they want to be involved in theater. And so Community Theater takes over this space and rents it from the Paul Bunyan Playhouse from September through May. So if any of you are interested, especially children, we have 39 in this cast, and 30 of them are under the age of 18. So this is one of the largest children's casts I've ever worked with. And they've done a wonderful job. Our youngest is 7, and we won't even talk about how old the oldest is. But if you are interested in being involved in theater, then please talk to Community Theater, talk to me or any one of the board members. And there are auditions coming up on May 9th and 10th. It will be another children's show called 3 Excellent Cows. They will be auditioning for that. And they will be performing at the State Park, both Itasca and Bemidji State Park. Now I also need to talk about this wonderful community that we live in. Last spring at exactly this same time, it was during the children's show, in fact it might have been earlier, I can't remember, we announced that we were going to do a Play It Back free book giveaway to every child who came to see this show. And we said we need 3,000 books collected, new, slightly used, or cash. And we actually collected, let me look at the number, 3,635 books. So thank you for the community. So we have more than enough books to give every single child in attendance. So any of you sitting here today, if you haven't gotten a book yet, make sure that you look out on the tables there. They are arranged according to grade, and take a free book. Now it's kind of funny because we did say children's books, but we got an entire box and a half, almost 2 boxes of adult books, especially you readers of Harlequin romances. I'm not handing those out to 2nd graders. So there is a table there that says grade 9 through adult, so please go ahead and take one of those also, all right? So help yourself to those books. And since it's been so overwhelming a success, we have decided every year, not to do it to the extent that we have done it this year, but every year we will have tables with free books for the children's shows. So I'm sure we will get rid of most of these, but again, when you're cleaning out your closets or you have some books that you think that you don't want to go somewhere special, Bemidji Community Theater will take those. Also in the spirit of playing it forward, there's a little bit in the show, you'll probably hear it, when the Shoemaker talks about playing it forward with the old lady, so listen for that. That was one of the things we enjoyed about this show, is it had such an important lesson. But I was talking to one of my friends, and I know she's here today, Dee Christopherson, and I said every time we do a show, we try to give the cast members something, and I was wondering, what am I going to give them for being in the Elves and the Shoemaker? And she said, well, I have this collection of shoes, do you want it? And I thought, okay, and not knowing what she meant. Well, she had boxes and boxes of little shoes that people had given her. Some are ceramic, some are knitted, they're all different sizes. And so we gave all the cast and the tech people, and there are a few you'll even see on the set. And I said, well, do you want these back? And she goes, no way. So I said, well, we're going to sell them then in our shoe boutique, as we call it. So there are some little shoes out there. If you would like to buy some and help support community theater, especially children's theater, then yes, you can talk to the people out there along with, oh, his cousin Duncan is out there too. You can talk to them about buying something from the boutique. Next year's schedule, since this is really the end of our season and then the new community theater season starts in August. So the first show will be the children's show called 3 Excellent Cows, followed by A Streetcar Named Desire, followed by the musical Camelot, followed by, and I always have to look this one up, The Play That Went Wrong, followed by a children's show that has not yet been determined. So at the end of this, please sit back, turn off all your cell phones and electronic devices, because the cast will be coming through the aisles. And also realize that it's the first Sunday, so on the first Sunday matinee, we always do a talk back after the show. So after the curtain call, the cast will sit on stage, and I will come up and answer any questions that you might have about the magic that you see on the stage. Thank you for supporting live theater, and we'll see you at intermission.
bucket, these will sell in a jiffy and will be back in our field again. Tis a lovely morning, good fortune's in the air. No more going hungry, we'll be rich, I swear. Toodalay, 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 la 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 la. Toodalay, 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 dum 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 dum, weekly snatches. Toodalay, 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 la 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 la. Toodalay, 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 I'll make a pair to match. Toodalay, 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 la 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 la. Toodalay, 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 la 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 la, weekly snatches. Toodalay, 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 la 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 la. Toodalay, 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 it's a lovely day. Toodalay, 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 good fortune's on its way. No more food for us. When we sell these shoes, we'll have enough money to buy a gigantic turkey bird and 2 pieces of leather. Then we'll get 2 turkey birds and 4 pieces of leather. Then we'll get 3 turkey birds.
Better not count your turkey birds before they hatch, my little creeper.
You're right. I feel so good.
Well, well, well. What have we here? Happiness? I loathe, despise, and hate happiness. Besides, you're nothing to be happy about. Can I bring you some glue? Meat stew! Soup!
Right. Have some snoop. I mean soup.
Silence! Better. But no cigar.
I don't smoke.
Quiet, you bird dragon.
Sorry.
The little that you got from me is due tomorrow. And unless you come up to 20 Dracola you owe me, you will be out on your collective ears. Cinderella! That's Miss Tone to you. Miss Flirt, I mean joke, I mean twerk. You said we would have a month to pay back some money. I changed my mind. Why? I sound like it. But we needed food and supplies and Kenneth. I don't want to hear your sob stories, sister. Blah, blah, blah.
Never fear. I have just finished making the best pair of shoes I have ever made. We'll have some money by tomorrow.
I won't hold my breath. What's it about? What? Sorry, yes, ma'am. I mean twerp. Don't grovel. I hate groveling. Why do people hate me so? In all I want to do is have a little business on the side. On the side, a little money and a coffee, drink coffee. But everywhere I go, Richie deserves enough, up to go. Gather your stuff and pack your trunk. Enough, don't be slow. Time to hit the road.
Now see here.
Enough, waste my time. This rush and pack your trunk. Enough, please pass slow as a floated toe. Oh no, what will you do?
Where will we go? What will we do?
Since this day is not so sunny,
Give us another chance, we'll truly pay.
we cut shoes, spending shoes.
Bound to make us lots of money.
Stop this wine and just be a queen. Enough, up to go. Take those wretched ugly shoes. Enough, tally ho. Pack your mess and leave. What can we say? What can we do? How can we make you understand? head that sneer that wood isn't charitable, although I hate that wood. I will give you until tomorrow morning to pay what you owe me. If that money is not in my hot little hands by then, it will be no more house, no more shoes. Bye-bye, cobblestones. Got it?
What are we going to do?
Don't worry, my little artichoke heart. These shoes will bring in more than enough to pay back the loan. And we'll still have enough left over to buy more leather and a turkey bird too. Maybe not a gigantic one, but a properly good one.
Really?
Really?
Whoopee! Oh my goodness! Lock out! Here, coming out of the cold.
Oh, yes, come in, come in. Are you all right?
Thank you, friends.
What can we get you?
I just need to rest for a bit. I'm so very tired.
Soup! She needs soup!
Here. Sorry, the soup is so thin. Only one potato, one carrot, and a pea.
But it's hot and it's good.
Thank you.
She's almost starved.
The poor thing.
She looks as though she's traveled a great distance.
We should ask her to stay with us.
Of course! We can make up an extra bed in the storeroom.
You look so tired. We were wondering.
Would you? Could you stay with us for a few days?
You're very kind, but I have a great sickness and I must go.
Please.
Thank you, but you've done enough already.
Look at her shoes.
They're so ragged and torn.
That's what I mean.
Oh, look out! I can puddle up and speak for 1,000 cooks.
The shoes!
If you've got a long distance to go, you've got to have shoes.
Can't walk on your bare tootsies.
Might step on an ear.
Might step on a gopher.
Ear. Drag them on.
I couldn't possibly.
Oh, we won't take no for an answer.
Oh, there, they fit so perfectly.
Oh, yes.
How do they feel?
It feels so good.
You'll be able to walk a million miles in those.
How can I ever repay you?
No need. Just play it forward.
Play it forward?
You know, when you can, just give somebody else a little something.
I will. And now, I must say goodbye. Thank you again.
Oh, be careful. And if you're ever in our little town of Playport again, come and see us.
Yes, come again.
Stay warm.
Good walking.
Be safe.
Goodbye.
I wish she would have stayed.
Oh, me too, my little snickerdoodle. But maybe the shoes will help. The shoes!
Oh no!
Whoops!
What are we going to do?
Whoops!
Oh dear! Oh dear!
Whoops!
Don't just move! What are we going to do for some money?
Do we have an alarm clock?
I don't think they've been invented yet. But the neighbors have a rooster.
Then set the rooster for 5 o'clock.
Why?
Because I have to get up and make another pair of shoes.
There's no more leather.
Well, I wasn't going to tell you this, but I do have another bit of leather that I was saving for, well, drat it all. I was saving another bit of leather because, well, I wanted to make you a special pair of shoes for your birthday.
Oh, Laka.
Oh, my little pumpkin pie, I'll make you another pair, I promise.
It doesn't matter. It's the thought that counts. You know that.
But now, my little Tootsie, I think it's time to sleep.
Tomorrow is another day.
Time. Ready?
Make some beautiful. Oh, make some as nice as these. As nice as these. Oh, good craftsmanship. Excellent. As nice as these. Oh, help! 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 Matilda, help! I've been bewitched.
What's going on? Are you all right?
Look!
My Lockhart, they're beautiful.
Don't touch them. Don't touch them.
Now, don't be silly. How did you finish them so quickly?
I didn't.
But they look finished. What needs to be done to them?
I didn't make them.
I don't think they're awake yet.
But
I'll tell you what happened, my little vitamin pill. You were so tired when you got them, you made them in your soup.
I did?
Of course you did.
I don't think.
Of course you didn't think. Your fingers just worked for you.
They did?
They did. You've made so many kinds of shoes. Your fingers can just work by themselves.
They can?
I know. We can sell them, and then Silvana will get her money, and we will get a giant ribbon.
We will!
Whoopee!
Oh, Oh, good morning, Mrs. Snootbottom and little Snootbottom. What can we do for you today?
I need a good pair of walking shoes. Something comfortable, something plain and practical. No nonsense shoes.
Lockhart has just finished these. Aren't they beautiful?
Can't you hear? I want something that is practical, not party shoes.
Oh, won't you try them on?
Nonsense. Shoes as pretty as these. I had some like this when I was a young girl. Oh, how I wish.
Just try them on.
What good will it do? They'll just be uncomfortable. My feet hurt all the time. My dancing days are over.
Please.
Get me another kind immediately.
But Mrs. Snootbottom, we don't have any other shoes.
What?
So, if you just try these.
Oh. Put them on! I know they'll pinch.
They are fancy.
Yes. I have hundreds of shoes in my wardrobe. In fact, I am an expert on shoes. Here you go!
How do they feel?
Here you go!
I think they're just the right size.
Here you go!
What is it?
There. There. Wonderful!
They are?
My feet don't hurt. My feet feel like my feet felt when I was 15.
Feet feel 15.
Like her feet felt.
I want to dance. I want to sing. I want to celebrate. They're wonderful, wonderful, simply magnificent, wonderfully, splendidly day. Yes, they're wonderfully pleasant, beautiful, yet elegant. Really, the mind is your they're wonderful, wonderful, truly marvelous, wonderfully brilliant and grand. Yes, they're wonderfully lavishly rich and luxurious.
luxurious.
Oh no, please stop.
No doubt they're simply the
Making us blush.
No doubt they're simply the
Let's shoot in the world.
I'll be glad to wrap them up.
Nonsense, man. I'll wear them. I'll show you.
Would 20 Draculas be too much?
Too much? We could take less. Less? What are you talking about?
Whatever you think is fair.
There. I'll show you fair. That's fair.
But Mrs. Snootbottom, this is 30 Draculas.
And they're worth every Dracula. I predict that you will be the shoemaker to the stars. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye. 30 Draculas.
Happiness. Do I hear happiness in here? Knock it off! Yeah!
I suppose you want your money.
I know you don't have it. I've come to kick you out on your proverbial suitors. Sorry. Don't try to soft-stone me with some cobblestone. Pack up your junk and get out of here!
No!
What? We'll see about that. The police will be here. Then let's see who say no. I want you to get these hayseeds out of here. I'm collecting them on my own. This shack is mine. No. No. We're not going! Seize them. I want them out now.
If we pay back the loan, can we stay?
And that will be the day.
Here.
Wait, you little weasel. You pumpkins out. Now, if you'd be so kind as to what? This is, you haven't heard the end of this. I'm warning you.
Out!
I'll get out your mouth for this.
I feel terrific.
I didn't, and now we have enough for more than
We have enough for 3 more pieces of leather and a turkey bird.
3 plus 2. Well, I have an idea.
I think I have the same idea. The widow Perkins.
We make 2 pairs to sell.
And another pair to give away.
The widow has been so ill lately. She needs new shoes badly.
Well, have to go to the tanner's to get the leather.
It's a long way. Are you sure you can make 3 pairs of shoes by tomorrow?
I don't have to finish them all by tomorrow. I'll make, well, I will go and get some leather. I will go to the market first, and I will get a nice long turkey bird. And then I'll make the widow's shoes first. Then I'm off. I finished the shoes for the widow Perkins.
The widow will have a new hop in her step when she wears these.
Oh, I'm worn out. I'll make the other shoes tomorrow.
packages it is.
Work, we work all together as we hop away. Then we snip as we poke, glue together while we stretch the leather to the day. Stitch as we sew till the morning. Then we tap those heels. Then we gleam and we shine, yes we gleam and we shine. Then we dance and we climb, we have then ways.
Ta-da!
But I still think that running, when you win the game, you can make your own running shoes. Running shoes. Uh-oh, better move up,
Have to make the shoes. Have to get the shoes made. The shoes. Ha! Hey! Oh no! Matilda! Matilda!
What is it?
The shoes! The
That? What is it?
Oh, the shoes! It's magic!
You must have stayed up all night to make these. But you couldn't have. Because I was right beside you and...
It's magic! Who would have done such a thing?
Maybe you did make those shoes that Mrs. Sweet bottom bought.
I don't think I did.
Then who did?
We've got to figure this out. Oh, Mayor Clangbottom.
Cobblestone. Mrs. Cobblestone. Mrs. Sweetbottom told me about the wonderful pair of shoes you made for her. I'm here to purchase a pair of shoes for myself. The shoes! The shoes, woman! I want some shoes!
But Mayor, you don't know about these shoes. We really should tell you that...
Nonsense, man. Put them on me.
His corns are killing me.
But you have these shoes.
Not those shoes, woman. The others. I don't want to take up ballet dancing.
No.
But Mayor, these shoes, there's something
Get on
unique.
with it.
Is that an order?
Of course it's an order. My corns. My corns. Stupid name for them. Why couldn't they call them cauliflowers or
Alligators.
no, they call them corns. Silly name. Come on, I'm in. She was right. Snoot Bottom was right. My feet feel great. In fact, I feel wonderful, younger, lively, go. I shall dance for you as the mayor mentioned. I shall dance my dicky hat. I shall dance the dance that astounds the world. I wish to order 50 pair contact expressly for dainty moi.
Yes, Matilda?
We have a gift for you.
For me? For what?
It's because of all the nice things that you do for people. You're always helping everybody.
We want you to have a pair of shoes.
I can't accept these.
Why not?
We don't have the money to pay for them.
We don't want money. We've done so many nice things for us. Remember when you took care of me when you were so sick?
And the time that you fixed my only Sunday shirt, when the round trees pet pig thought it was a corn cob and ate it?
That was nothing.
Then consider this nothing too. We want you to have some.
We really do.
So nice, Mama. I like that.
Me too.
A perfect fit.
They feel so good.
It's like,
Magic. I don't know how to thank you.
You can thank us by coming to dinner tonight. We want you to share our good luck. We're having another turkey bird.
And bring your whole family.
Thank you, Lockhart. Thank you, Matilda. Thank you, friends. Thank you so much.
I hope you like turkey bird. And soup.
And of course, cranberry muffins. Goodbye.
Stay warm. Hurry back.
Safe travels.
See you later.
good night.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye. What a strange day.
You satisfy little couple you
I have been trying and trying to figure it out.
I thought it left, right, and upside down.
I think I found the answer. Somebody is making those shoes. I have a plan.
I love flat.
Tonight, we'll hide and see who it is.
Oh, Naka, very good. You are a genius.
It's late. Let's pretend to go to bed, but we'll stay awake and spy.
Oh, it sounds exciting.
Time to sleep.
It's so deep.
See the Sandman.
Go to sleep.
Boy, we are so tired. So very tired. Oh, we are going to sleep now. Oh.
Aha! New work to do. Shoes to make.
What kind?
We all had a chance, except for you, Shoemaker, and those guys. We say we make boots, and I say running shoes. Studebaker, you've got to make them by yourself. Nobody's ever made running shoes before. It's just this idea that I have in my head.
Everybody to work.
Always. Then we snip, snip, snip as we hum glue together while we stretch, stretch the legs till it stays. Stitch, stitch, stitch as we sew till the morning as we tap, tap, tap those heels. Then we clean and we shine, yes we clean and we shine. Then we dance and we dive the oven waves. Ooh. Oops! Rooster time! But did you see my running shoes? Did you? Huh? Huh? We saw!
Don't let them be at this time of shoes. I haven't seen my God.
Nobody will buy those.
Nobody would put these on.
I think I will make them after my old Aunt Rhea and my old Uncle Buck. I will call them Rhea Bucks. Well, maybe I'll name them after my old grandpa Nicky, and then we can call them...
Enough. Let's get going. Now.
Did I just see what I thought I saw?
I think you saw what you thought you saw. What did you saw?
Little elves in their underwear.
That is what I saw.
Why would they do all of this work for us?
Why?
I don't know. I just don't know.
We have to do something to repay them.
You're right. I guess that everyone is entitled to one mistake. They'll never sell.
Dad! I have an idea!
An idea?
About how to repay them. They must be so cold running around in their underwear.
Not to mention embarrassed.
So, I'll make them some clothes.
Matilda, my little tulip nose, that's a wonderful idea. You make them some clothes, and I'll make them some shoes.
Oh, let's get started.
I've never been so busy in my life.
It seems like everybody wanted shoes.
I don't know how I'll keep up with all the work.
I've been thinking about this very thing. I have an idea.
Your ideas are always good, my little chipmunk cheeks.
We'll hire some help. Show them how to make shoes. And all work together.
Of course! Why didn't I think of that? This town needs a factory.
Did you get the shoes done?
Yes, all done. Didn't want anyone to see them. What about the clothes? Have you finished them?
I've worked on them every spare minute.
Oh, quick! They're coming!
We have work to do.
Yowza! What is this? Holy moly! There's no leather to make the shoes!
There are clothes.
And shoes! Ooh! Ah! And there's a note. It says, "Thank you, elves. These are for you." For us? Yeah! La 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 la.
No, I think their work here is done.
I'll never forget them.
Nor will I. Come, my little parakeet.
Kindness is repaid in kind. Forever will you grow in wealth and hope and charity and safety from all foe. And as for these, a special charm that's known only to me, but its results shall gather soon for all the world to see. Matilda and Lockhart cobblestone, for the kindness you have shown, I now bless this house with laughter and joy. Let her peace and grace from above give joy over your child born. So gently in lilies of
Miss Clone, Squirm, Twerm.
I want a pair now. Now, do you hear me? For Miss Blum and Miss Twerm.
tomorrow. But until then, the running shoes.
Running shoes? What are you talking about, Underhead? Who in their right mind would buy a pair of running shoes? Stupidest thing I've ever heard. Wouldn't you like to try some on? I would not. I want a pair of regular shoes. Everybody's been talking about them, and I want some too. And with that, I think I've discovered a snafu in the loan contract. I might be able to find a way to kick you out of here. No, give me. Give me, mind you, I'm not buying the shoes that I want.
But of course, Cinderella, just for you.
Running shoes. 3 of us. A quarter mile. Run for the yards. Run. Run. And I'll run. Run a million miles. The Boston Marathon. And I'll run. Run. My corn. Don't hurt. My bunnies. Don't hurt. My ouchies. Don't hurt. My toenails. Don't hurt. Mine. Ah! I want to run.
I'm sorry, I didn't know what was going to happen.
He isn't responsible. She wanted the shoes.
Can you make any more?
I think so. I studied the design. Pretty weird looking.
I want 100 pair. Can you do it?
100 pair? But
It isn't our fault, really.
100 pair, and another 100 for the first of the year. Can you do it?
I think I can. That is my friend.
I need that. I'm Blue Gordon, captain of the Klein Bottom Olympic running team. But your shoes will be famous. Just do it. I will endorse them.
Mayor Grandma.
And with my endorsement, running shoes will become the fashion, the rage, the ultimate fashion, and you'll be rich.
No, Mayor. The town will be rich. That is what I was trying to tell you. We want to build a factory. Then everybody will have jobs.
We will win. Where are you going, man? I have to catch that weird woman out there. She's the fastest thing I've ever seen. I'm here with the team.
Always prosper. May you all work in harmony to make shoes that will bring lightness to every foot. Come, elves, come. We have work to do, elves. Wherever there is love and kindness, we shall go to help
Thank you for coming. Now we'll let those escape who would like to escape. Or buy things in the boutique, they could do that too. But we'll answer any questions people might have about the production. Someone in the tech booth, could you take notes, please?
Got it.
Got it.
Thank you. Elves, get yourself situated. And hopefully everybody got a book. Yes? If you didn't, make sure you get one on the way out. There's still plenty of books out there. When did we start rehearsal? Our first question. We had auditions in August. No. What year is it? January. Too many shows. January. We started in January. It was after Christmas. Yes. Other questions? Yes, please. What's your question? How do you learn to pause? You mean those, we call them freezes? Is that what you're talking about? Who would like to answer that question? Edie, would you like to answer that question? You do? Yes, Edie says you just try to hold still. And we bring it to their attention all the time. So when they're freezing and we're standing out here watching during rehearsal, I will write their names down. And I will say, you, and you need to hold still. Yes, young lady right here. How do you learn your part? Who'd like to answer that one? Braden, go ahead.
It's technically what
I think she wants to know about how you memorize your lines, I think. Caleb?
that has all the words of the play in it, and then it'll have your name on it, and then you'll find
Lots of practice. Who else has a question? I thought I saw one out there. Oh, there must be. You have a question? Why are the shoes here? Yes, why are the shoes here?
Because we're shoemakers. We make shoes for all the people at our little town of Plank Bottom. And we want them to have nice, comfortable feet whenever they're walking and dancing and having fun with everybody.
Do you have a question? Okay, what's your question? How do people do that? No?
Do the play?
This one right here? You do that.
I do a lot.
She's a runner. But this is her first play with Bemidji Community Theater. So how many people in the cast, raise your hand if this is your first play with Bemidji Community Theater? Yes. How do you do all of your parts, and else how do you do all the things that you do? You practice. They practiced a lot. The elves probably practiced more than anyone because it was kind of complicated as to what they needed to do at any given time. Dakota.
The way the elves do their thing is by listening to me.
And Dakota listens to whom?
Mary.
Chain of command. All right, another question. Yes.
You were curious about the shoes?
It's not scary, but it's kind of sad because they're really nice people and I have to be mean to them.
Yes. Yes, sir. How long did it take to build the set? Well, that's an interesting question. As part of our contract here at the Chief Theater, that's my husband, Dwayne. He and I designed together, and then I say, okay, now do you think you can build this? And he goes, oh, sure. Anyhow. So the rental agreement we have with the Pub on Your Playhouse, because they rent it out to other entities, is 21 days before we open. It's the first time we can put anything on this stage. So it has only been there, we started 21 days ago. Pretty nice set. Yes, over there, Julie Loxterkamp.
I'm curious, what is your favorite part about being in a musical play like this?
All right. Who hasn't answered yet? Marin, what's your favorite part? Let us know loud. Acting, she says. All right, Wasabi. Being on stage. Mercy. Costumes. I don't know why they would like those costumes. All right. All right, yes, Miss Ella.
So our fairy costumes are very fragile. Mine is probably ripped 50 times backstage. And Dwayne has had to pin it up on me. Yesterday, my costume ripped right before I had to go on. Fun.
Live theater, what can I say? Yes, we have a question back here. How do we make the house turn elf power? Ready to see those three elves? Actually, the house is sitting on a little, I don't even know what to call it, right?
It's like a lazy Susan.
It's like a lazy Susan.
So, yeah, the pivot points, the wheels pull it around.
Lots of wheels underneath. Dwayne, how many wheels are underneath this, do you think? 12 wheels. And so they get on each of the corners and they just push it around.
It only goes in
One direction, clockwise. Anything? Yes?
May I comment? My grandfather was born in Bavaria in about the year 1855.
Okay.
And then came to Minnesota.
Wonderful.
So thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
So hopefully if we looked at pictures, we might see some of this look. Except for the fairies.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, we're a little too colorful. Yes, way in back. Becky.
I want to know how much Mary and Dan, is that right? Yeah, played the piano, modified the music, because you guys did a beautiful job, but they were amazing.
Didn't modify it too much. There's some of the little colors and things like that, and there's some little added things, but for the most part, it was just what's in the book.
Julie?
We modified it a little bit, and this crew of 39 cast members, if Dan and I wanted to throw out some different vocal harmonies and add some counter melodies, which we actually did add some of that, they picked it up in a snap, because this crew works together and supports each other really, really well. Very impressive.
But she's forgetting to tell you that none of the part where the chorus comes in, that was all added. Yeah, so the chorus coming in like they came in and freezing and singing in different parts, that was all, we decided that we needed to have the chorus more because my attitude is I would rather have them on stage than backstage fooling around. So, because there's 39 of them back there, so we put them on stage and give them something to do then. A question right down here, yes.
Yeah, what's your question?
She's being shy. Anyone know her question? No? Yes. What is the audition process like? Well, someone who hasn't answered Gabe.
So you walk into this room, and it would be Mary, Julie, and Christine, and they all sit at a table, and you sing, you practice like a skit or something that, I did something impromptu, so I didn't have anything prepared for acting, but it was, you sing, you have something prepared, and
You dance?
And you dance.
This
Yes.
was a new, a little bit different component. The last couple of plays we've had a dance component to it. So they allowed us to come in with whatever kind of genre.
Movement.
Yeah, movement. To see how well we move, I guess.
There are a couple of questions up the aisle here.
It's really pretty painless, really. You should audition.
It's not
Yes,
scary.
What happens if you forget your line? Who would like that one? Okay, Benji, you're going to have to come down here, though. All right, Benji will answer that one.
You improvise.
You improvise. Good answer. And who knows what improvise means? Benji, come back. So you improvise by doing what? Like you're doing right now, yes. Make something up that makes sense. Yes.
Maybe your friend helps you by feeding you information.
Maybe.
Brogan has an answer for that.
Brogan? There you go. It's only a mistake if the audience, if you make it known that it was a mistake. So there were some things that happen every day there's a live show. So I will notice them and other people will notice them. As long as the audience doesn't notice them, it's not a mistake.
There's a young lady in a blue jacket right here, the person who just asked a question.
All right. Do you have a question? No? Okay. I think we had a question here, though, yes? All right. Yes, right here. Do the shoemakers really make the shoes?
Yes. I would like to answer that question, Mary.
All right, Dakota.
Okay, so the process is quite simple, actually. So what we do is we take a little bit of pixie dust and we sprinkle it on the leather, and we run around with it a little bit, and boom, shoot.
It's magic.
Okay, now I want to serious answer. In this show, there's a cast of 39 people. There are 57 pair of shoes that we have to pull and use for the cast. We have a storehouse of shoes in all different sizes, everything from like Mary, you wear a 1 or a 2 now?
Mary, wake up, wake up.
Are you wearing a 1 or a 2?
Shoe size.
Size 2s. 2 size, when we gave, is it 13 or 14?
13.
13, okay. So we have that kind of range of shoes in our stock, and we have to pull and fit everyone with shoes and sometimes several pair of shoes, depending on, they have to take it off, the shoemaker has to put new shoes on them, those sorts of things. So we have lots and lots of shoes, and every show starts with fitting people into footwear so they can start moving around the stage in the shoes that they're going to wear when they perform so that they're comfortable and so they don't look clunky like brand new shoes.
But we don't make them. Or we try not to. We fix a lot of them, though, yes. Yes, back there. The couple's nicknames?
I haven't even counted.
I haven't counted either. It starts with raspberry bucket.
Cream puff.
Ghost field.
Periwinkle.
Artichoke heart.
Artichoke heart.
Vitamin pills.
Tootsie.
Many. In fact, that was one of the, you know, I think that the script itself, I think it's just a little bit on the cheesy side. That was one of the things we talked about when we first cast it. I said, are you guys comfortable using all those different expressions that seem to be a little over the top? And they said, no, we really like saying those, so we left them in. Yes, they're part, we're going to have to look that up now and see.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the original script, all the elves' grammar was absolutely awful. Like, they'd be nice, but I still think that running shoes would be. So one night we had to go through and just correct every single bit of grammar. It was a lot of it.
Yes, I just couldn't let them be users of bad grammar. It just bothered me. Although there was a part where you guys come out and say, did I just see what I thought I saw?
Did you see what I think you saw? What you thought you saw? What did you saw?
We left that one in. But the rest of the grammar for the elves we fixed. Anything else?
There was a question kind of here in the middle. Young man had a question. Did your question get answered?
Usually we get asked about costumes. Now, shoes we don't make, costumes we do make. So everything up there except the fairies and the princess, all the dresses, all the hats, all the shirts, even the tuxedo jackets these guys are wearing, not their tuxedos back there, we bought those. All of the elves themselves are 21 costume pieces, all made for this show. So, we think that's part of the educational process, is people learning how to do costumes and how to put costumes together. So we have quite a large stock. So most of the rest of it, we have pulled from stock, although some of the smaller things, the hats and the capes, we still had to make about 5 sets. The rest we had in stock.
But they were originally made.
But they were originally made for Christmas Carol, I think. So they have been used a number of times. Anytime we need a show, we pull them out of stock. But then you always need more. So we always make more.
This one is way back.
Way back, yes.
Do you guys get paid?
Well, in a sense, you get paid because you get applause, yes. But this year you also got what?
Shoes!
They got their own little shoe and a book.
Want to add something to that?
And they had new friends, so they don't get paid any money.
We don't get paid in money, but we get paid in new skills. We all work 10 hours for the production, so we do working painting sets or whatever. And so we all go away with different skills, learning how to paint, learning how to patch up a little tear in the costume. So we learn acting and singing and dance, but we also go away with technical skills that we can use, all over in life. So, not paid in money, but paid in better experience, I would say.
Carry on.
I also want to say that in this show we have, I believe, 18 microphones, and along with the lights, it's all controlled by those lovely ladies up there.
Yes, Ella,
You're making me blush. That's your line.
We also get to do something called mic check, and we get to make up our own fun little stories.
And they learn how to use a microphone and make sure they're not saying something backstage they shouldn't be, because they might be on. Okay, any more questions out there?